Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So if you are new to this channel, so hi, my name is Jasjeet Kaur, and on this channel you will be learning different chapters related to your class 8 social science. And in this particular video we will be learning the second chapter of your geography book, that is land, soil, water, natural vegetation and wildlife resources. In this particular video we will be continuing which resource, land as a resource, in the continuation of the last video. So let's start the video. So here I have pasted two pictures for you. The one picture is related to park and the other one is related to forest. Now you have to tell me, this park and forest are being owned by whom? You can write your answers in the comment section right below. So you have to tell me who own this particular properties, this lab, this park and this forest. Is it owned by one particular person or it is owned by the whole community? So you have to tell me this. So this park and this forest are being owned by the whole community. There is no one single individual who own this park and who own this forest, because every person in the community can use this forest and can use this park. So if I talk about the types of land, so on the basis of ownership, we have two kind of land. The one is private land and the second one is community land. So private land are those land which are owned by one particular individual. Means where if suppose we have this land, so in this particular land only one person have the sole authority that how he or she can use this particular land. It is owned by one particular individual only. So this is called private land. Whereas on the other side we have community land, a land which is owned by the whole community. So the people who are living in that particular community or in that particular society, all people can have the right over that particular land. They all can use this particular land. So this is called community land. And this community land is also called the common property land. Why is it so? Because these community lands, like this park and forest, are the example of community land. These are used by the person for one common purpose. Like this park is used by the people in their leisure time, and this forest are being used by the person for their for collecting different resources from forest, like wood from or fruits or food or for animals. So these forests are used by people for one particular common purpose. That is why it is also called common property resources. So if I talk about the example of private land, so we have houses first, because houses in which we are live, so these are owned by one particular person only. Whole community have not the right over one house. Like if I'm living in this house, my grandfather owned this particular house and he has the sole authority to use this house according to their own wish. So one particular person own one particular house, so that is why it comes under the private land. And then second we have shops. Shops is also example of private land, because one particular person owns that particular shop. And then factories are also example of private land, because it is also owned by one particular person. The whole community cannot own any factory. So factories are example of private land. Whereas on the other hand we have community land. In this we have parks, which because parks are used by the whole community. And then second up we have the forest, as this is I already discussed in the earlier slide. And then third up we have the monuments, because monuments are also used by the whole community. It is not owned by one particular individual, so that is why it is come under the community land. You can think other example also which comes under the private and the community land, and you can write this in the comment section. So these are the example of private and community land. So let's move further. So here we have that people and their demands are ever growing, but the availability of the land is limited. As we have discussed in the last video also, that on the earth's surface, only 30% of the earth's surface is covered with land. And in this particular 30%, the people and the population is increasing day by day, and their demands are also increasing day by day. Because in this 30%, people want to use this land for agriculture, people want to establish their industries, people want to construct their houses, people want to use this for mining, for forestry. So this a very small piece of land is being used for different purposes with the passage of time. So as the demand of the people are increasing day by day, it is affecting the quality of the land. Because in this small amount of land, because we this particular land cannot handle so much pressure, because the demand of the people are unlimited, but we have a very limited land. So that is why the pressure over the land is increasing day by day, which is affecting the quality of the land. And the quality of the land also differ from place to place. Like if we have the uh, on one land we on one place we have a very good quality of land which is very fertile, but on the other place we have a land which is not fertile, which is infertile. So the quality of the land also differ from place to place. And then as the culture is changing in our society, the land use pattern are also changing. So you must have seen in your areas also, like in my area, the earlier people used to use the land for mostly for the agriculture purposes, but now they are using the land for constructing their houses. As population is increasing, they are using their land for establishing different shops over that particular land. So as the culture is changing, the demand of the people are also changing, and that will affect the land use pattern also. Because the land use pattern are also changing, people are now using that land for different purposes. And this land use pattern, as the construction activities are increasing and the agriculture activities are increasing, these are causing threat to the environment. And which threats are being caused by this particular construction activities? The first one is land degradation. It means the quality of the land is starting deteriorating, means the quality of the land or the fertility of the land is starting decreasing day by day, because we are putting so much pressure on the small quantity of the land. And then second is landslide. So landslide is when the in the mountain area, when construction activities are there, so there is a movement of the small when so there is a mass movement of the rock down the slope. So when there is a movement of the rock down the slope, so it will destroy further the life the houses of the people, and it will cause a further more destruction to the human beings. So that is why it is also, when we are putting pressure, we are doing construction activities day by day, so these will cause further landslide in that particular area also. And then we have soil erosion. As soil erosion, when the upper layer of the soil is starting eroding with winds and with water. So the upper layer of the soil is starting eroding, and this will cause this will cause the threat to the environment, and it will also further affect the land degradation. And then the last up we have the desertification. So when the fertile land it when it is when the fertility of the land started declining, so it convert the fertile land into the desert, and then desertification happened. So these are the four threats which are causing to the environment, and which are affecting our environment very badly. So now here I have picture for you. So you have to observe this picture. You can take a screenshot of this, and you have to tell me that how this particular land is being changed, how this particular land or the land use pattern is being changed with the passage of time as the culture changes. So how this land become from this to this particular land. So you have to observe this picture, and you have to tell me the reasons that how the demand of the people started changing the land use pattern over one particular place. You can take a screenshot of this picture, and then you can write your answers in the comment section. So now there is question for you. So the first question is, on the basis of ownership, land is divided into dash and dash. So you have to answer this question in the comment section. So what are the two types of land on the basis of ownership? And then the second question is, an example of common property resources is private homes, land for common usage, agricultural land of individual, or factories. So you have to answer both the questions in the comment section. Now moving forward, so as we have discussed that the land degradation, as when the quality of the land is starting declining, or the fertility of the land is started declining. So it is called land degradation. So what are the causes of land degradation? So as the population is increasing, the it is further increase the large scale destruction of forest cover and also to the arable land. So as the population is increasing, we have discussed that when population is increasing, they need houses to live because they cannot live on roads or on other places. So they need houses where they can live their life easily and comfortably. So when as population is increasing day by day, so there is a large destruction of forest cover because people are cutting down the forest or clearing the forest to construct their homes over that particular place. So when population increasing, it will further lead to destruction of forest cover. And also the arable land, the land which is very good for agriculture. Arable land means which is good for growing crops or for agriculture. That land are also being used by the people to construct their houses or to construct their industries over that particular place. So as the population are increasing, it will further lead to the destruction of forest cover and also to the destruction of arable land. So now, as we have discussed the causes of land degradation, now we have to conserve land. That how we have to discuss the method to conserve land resources. As we have discussed in the last video also, that land is one of the most important natural resource that we have in our environment. So if we are not conserving this land resource, then we will definitely be facing a very big issue in our future also. And also we have to conserve this land for our future generation also, so that they can also use this particular land and they can also get benefited out of this. So we need to conserve this land, and for this we have different methods that in which we can conserve land resource. So the first one is afforestation. Afforestation means where we have to grow plants more and more over the earth surface, because as the trees has the capacity that they can hold the soil together. So we need to plant more and more trees over the land so that they can hold the land together and they can increase the fertility of the soil in the upcoming years. And then we have land reclamation. What it means? So it means reclamation means when where we claim the land to its original use. As we have discussed that as the population is increasing day by day, the land is being the fertile land which is good for agriculture. That particular land is also being used for industries or for establishing their homes, or for other different purposes. We are not using the fertile land for agriculture, which are the main purpose of the land. So we need to reclaim the land to its original purpose, like as the original purpose of the land is to use it for agriculture. So we need to reclaim the land to its original use, so that is how we can conserve the land resource. And the third one is we have to regulate the use of chemical pesticides and fertilizers. So pesticides are used by the farmers to kill the insects that can destroy the plants. So they are being used by the farmers, and fertilizers are used by the farmers to increase the productivity of their crops. So these two chemicals are used by the farmers. So but they when farmers overuse this chemical pesticide and fertilizers, this chemical pesticides and fertilizers, they seep down into the land, and this will decrease the fertility of the soil, and also it will start decreasing the quality of the soil. So we need to regulate, or we need to limit the use of this chemical pesticides and fertilizers. And the third one is checks on overgrazing. So in this, as you grazing means, so when you must have seen in villages or in movies that herders who have sheep or animals with themselves, they what they do, suppose this is a land and this is the land on which the grass is being grown, and this is a common property land, so everyone can use this land. Okay, so in this land the herders, what they do, they leave their animals on this particular land to for grazing. So the animals, as they are not that much understanding, so what they do, animals, cows and goats, when they are doing grazing, what they do, they eat the whole grass with roots itself. So they are eating the grass with the root itself, and then the land is and the land is being left barren also, and they are also not getting giving the time to grass to regrow. So because one herder they came with the cows to graze for grazing, and then the other herder came with the uh, goats for grazing, so they are not giving the time for the grass to regrow. So this will also decrease the fertility of the soil, and also it will affect the quality of the soil. So we need to keep the check on the overgrazing, like we need to stop the herders to overgraze their animals. So we need to keep this check on the overgrazing also, so that the quality of the soil, not that the quality of the land is not declining, and the quality of the land will remain fertile and good also, so that the future in future we can use it for different purposes and for agriculture also. So there is one question for you. So what does the term land degradation refer to? It refers to decline in the use of fertilizers, or the decline in the productivity of cultivated land or forest land, or it is presence of rocks and minerals in the soil. The last one is the slope of the land. So you have to choose out of this four options, like what was the land degradation referred to, and you can write your answers in the comment section. So this is all what we have discussed in this video. We discussed about what was the types of land on the basis of ownership. Then we discussed about the causes of land degradation and different methods how we can conserve the land for our future generation also, and for our present use also. So thank you for watching this video. So if you like this video, please please hit the thumb button, and then subscribe to my channel also. So thank you very much.